Hi again. I'm Toy Johnson-Vincent. I wanted to thank you very much for um, wanting me to talk about, personal development, goals, goals in progress, goals that you may have put off because of things going on in your personal life. And a lot of times we will put off things and we think that we're okay and we're really not okay. Either you're something's going to have to give. So it's either from the career development side, meaning your job search, all of those different strategies that you need to put in place, but they weren't really working for you at that time. And then you look up and you're like, wait a minute, a light bulb moment, and you start to put things together. And like I always say, as a coach with a background in human resources, and I focused a lot on recruiting for many, many years, one of the things that I was thinking about when, as it relates to personal growth and development, and I always said, if there's something going on in your personal life and it's not really going that well. I mean, we're all going to have rough days, rough patch, everything. The journey is not going to be smooth all of the time, right? But, when you think about it, when there's something going on in your personal life that's not so great, and now you show up for work and you're showing up as someone different, meaning your attitude may be off, your focus, your attention span may be less than it normally is. So that's what I mean. You always have to think back, if there's something going on in your personal life, how could it actually be affecting your, your career life, or vice versa? Something going on in your career life, does it spill back into your personal life? So that's what I wanted to really address, in a few strategies. And then, the takeaway today should be rethink how you're actually thinking about your goals, how to meet, not only meet, but exceed the goals in your personal life, what you're trying to do, that you want to be happy, or you're going to achieve happiness. How will you do that? Because you really do have to hone in on what really will make you happy. At the end of the day, that's all that's going to matter. Because a lot times we're doing jobs, we're working jobs, two and three jobs, some of us, um, you know, you're struggling, maybe even to put food on the table, who knows? Or maybe you have a lot of food on your table, but you are struggling somewhere else in your life. And it may involve family and structure and all of those things. And when you start to pile those things on to your life plate, then you will find that something has to give. So that's why I wanted to send the message on the, ready, set, goals, ready, set, goals, as in GOALS, right? So that's what my theme was all about. So this is the wrap up. Um, and one of the things too, and I was pulling up some things, of course, online and everything, and categorically speaking, I just want to see, I have this down. Uh, Personal goals versus career goals. All right. So we're talking health and wellness. Let me see this. We're talking health and wellness, relationships and family, personal development, hobbies and or interest, financial independence. Okay. And then when it comes to the career goals, we start looking at professional growth. And one of the things, if you looked at all of my posts leading up to tonight's event, I wanted to hone in on the word growth, 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 because you can have personal development, you can have career development, even organizations, they have organizational development, leadership and development. But if there isn't any room to grow in those spaces, right? Then what are you really doing? You're going backwards. So we don't want to do that, not in our personal lives, especially, and definitely not in our career lives. So there's some differences, but no matter if it's personal or it's career, it's still important. It may be important to you. And many of us maybe career is not as important. It's all about the personal goals. But you need to be able to have that balance. And I think when you get that balance, you'll have a better understanding, you'll have a better feel about what really is going on and how to make some strategies or tweak or just change some of your strategies of what you've been doing in the past to make sure that you're not only meeting your personal life goal, personal growth and development goals, but you're also exceeding them. So at the end of the day or at the end of the year, 2026 is coming up. When you blink, it will be Happy New Year because we're already beyond, past the year, half a year of 2025. So I wanted you to make sure that you were staying on track. That was the whole thing about what I wanted to talk about this evening. It was really about staying on track. How do you do that? Well, first of all, you need to build your own plan and you need to hold yourself accountable. One of my posts is out there between LinkedIn, Facebook, you name it, is out there. And I said, capital YOU. I'm not yelling in capital letters. I'm just saying you have to pick up and perk up yourself and hold you accountable for you and your goals. It's okay to get people to help you hold yourself accountable, but at the end of the day, it's your goal. It's not your family goal, it's your goal. Individually, we have to have our own, even when we're connected to our families in the closest way. Okay. So, career goals, professional growth, skill development, leadership opportunities. These are some of the things I wanted you to think about so you know there's a difference between following that career goal versus a personal, but they do intertwine from time to time. Income progression, we all know what that is, right? When we talk about career goals, how much money am I not making? Not how much money you make, but how much are you not making because maybe you're being shortchanged at your job. You worked there 100 years, you're not being promoted, you're still doing the same thing, there's no movement, the company is always in jeopardy of laying people off, or there's a mass layoff, or it's just your department, or it's just you and your job is gone, right? No fault of your own, but and now you're walking down the hall with a box on a Friday afternoon, which is typically when that happens. I don't know why. So, and then last under the career goes work-life balance because work, and no balance is not good. It's not healthy psychologically, mentally, physically on the body. It takes a toll. So, those working those late nights, and I know many of us do. I may put out a post at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it may not even be on a weekend, but I'm doing something that I know I really should be resting. But again, depending on how your brain works and what your personality is like, you want to get things done, you don't want to wait, and you want to feel that you possibly were overachieving. Maybe that was something that could have waited till the next day. If it wasn't like your manager saying it was required the first thing in the morning, why would you stay up at 1 and 2 in the morning doing it? But some of us just work our best work and more creative at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there. So I want to say shout out to you if that is you indeed working in that under those circumstances in that pattern. So I was saying, both goals are essential for well-rounded life and often complement each other. True. Finding the right balance helps achieve overall life satisfaction. I'm going to top that and say overall life function, how you function in the world, how you show up in the world. If you're always tired, you're not really showing up. You're just kind of fueling the fire. You're kind of doing your thing, but you really need to focus more on your health. Get your rest. Drink lots of water. You've heard it all, no matter what your age is. But for some of us who are aging gracefully, yeah, I'm probably drinking more water than I used to do, right? So that was one of the things. Now, um, in terms of the personal goals, focusing on individual growth and happiness. When we think about that, that's what I said in the beginning. I wanted just to take away today is your personal goals. At the end of the personal goals, it's got to be some happiness in there. It has to be. Because other than that, why are you chasing dreams, building goals, building foundations, that really there's nothing at the end? What is the end game? So it's very important that you not only, you say you're chasing dreams, I say, okay, let's just stop chasing and we'll put the work in, right? And then reap all of the benefits, get the benefits out of it so that you can stop chasing and you can relax. You may not chase every single thing because now it's tying you up, it's tiring you out and tying you up, where maybe you cannot go and invest in something else. Maybe you want to take a new course or something. And I don't mean something that it's everything is educational. If you're taking a course or you're trained, it still is educational, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about your job because you have a personal life. And once you decide that you will take time out for yourself, by the way, that means take those vacations, people, because we have all learned that you will put off your vacations, right? And then you're not realizing that, guess what? That job may or may not be there tomorrow. They're closing down jobs like I don't know what these days. You turn on the news every now and again, and you say, oh, the doors were closed. People were walking up to the doors and they couldn't get in. Their paycheck was inside. They were expected to get paid that day. And of course, other than direct deposit, you may or may not have had, depending on how small a company, with some companies still give checks. I don't know who, but they're probably very small companies. But for payroll purposes, it just makes sense for them, right? But that's going a little further than the tangent. But my point is, you want happiness at the end because you're doing so much. In the beginning, you're doing so much for everyone else. But what are you doing for you? Capital YOU. Personal growth so that you can grow going up, not down, going up, 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 right? That's where you want to be. You want to achieve success, but not at the expense of not feeling well or getting sick because you're not sleeping and you're eating poorly. Your habits have become just outrageously negative. And when it comes to your personal goals, you don't have to mix up the two with your career goals. You can have a pile here for career goals. You can have another pile for personal growth and development goals. Because as you embark on your personal life goals, you want to make sure that you're also growing in that. Let me give you an example. So maybe you were always, I don't know, your vacation, your favorite spot, vacation, right? But you keep going back to that spot because you loved it. Your family loved it, but you really loved it. Or maybe somebody in your family didn't really like it, but you liked it and you said, hey, we're all going here anyway. And then theirs was put on the back burner until the following year or something like that. But guess what? Maybe they're seeing something that you don't see because you keep going back to the same place. You haven't grown to expand your horizon, to go somewhere else, try something new. That's what and I know, believe me, I get it. I like to eat the same things all the time. I get it. And somebody might say, well, why do you keep eating the same thing? Every day you can eat this and that, whether it's a salad, whether it's, who knows, some form of chicken or vegan, if you're vegan food or whatever, and people say, try something else, right? Um, so you just never know, but you have to have your own goals. And with that said, you've been there, you've been on that same spot vacation, try something else and new the following year. Or maybe it's not a vacation, it's just an extended long weekend so that you don't have to worry about using up your vacation time because you may try something different on a long weekend, right? And that gives you that time frame to what you want to do. So you may not be going really far, but at least you've tried something different. And then when it comes to the actual vacation time, those hours that you've saved up, you may want to, because you liked it so much where you went and you had never really gone there before. Guess what? You're growing right here. From the head to the heart, you're growing because you decided to step outside of that comfort zone. And usually, when we go back to something, it's typically because we are comfortable. Whether you like it or not, you're comfortable. So, again, that's something on the personal goals. More flexible time to do things with family, friends, significant others, whatever you want to do. You may say you wanted to get your certification in a particular area that for personal reasons you want to do it, and that's fine as well. But you have to make the time. If you don't make the time, then you'll get nothing done. So nothing to do with a certification that's for your job or anything like that. Something personally say, maybe if you like a seamstress, perhaps you were the best sewer in the entire family, mending the clothing and different things for your family throughout your family. And then you build that as a business. And now people are able to contact you and they want you to do work for them. Maybe it's something in fashion where you are utilizing those skills, okay, as a seamstress or as someone that's really good with clothing and retail. I mean, it just goes on and on. No stone should be left unturned when it comes to personal growth and development, and most importantly, your happiness. So that's what I have for you tonight. And I want you to think about this before I close, and please make sure you do share the recording. Again, hold you, capital YOU, accountable for your personal development goals. You can rely on other people, but at the end of the day, it's you that has to come back and say, did I do it this way? Did I do it right? Am I getting better at managing and staying on track with the goals? That's very important. But hold yourself accountable, capital YOU, not having someone else holding you accountable. That's okay if you're doing both, but you know when you need to hold your own self accountable. Um, do you think you really need a goal plan for your personal life? Well, that could be a yes or a no. Some people, they're not planners, so they just aren't. They like to go by every day, something new, something different. They don't, just like when it comes to the new year, and I'll do a live or something. I'll do some sort of presentation regarding the new year right before we embark and getting into the last quarter and all these things. And I'll come back and I'll do one of those presentations, and it's all about going into the new year. Do you feel successful? Do you think that you've made your mark in 2025? Are you ready for 2026? Those are the things I'm talking about. Do you need a goal for or a life plan, if you will? Do you think you need one? If you think you need one, go ahead and set the goal. Nothing wrong with that. We set goals for academic goals, right? So personal growth and development goals. It's all going to come out better for you if you have something. Because what I find, and I've said this, and check out my YouTube videos. Pull me up. No Sugarcoating Coach, Toye Johnson-Vincent on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe. By the way, but I have many of videos out there, and one of the things you'll find, and I don't go far from it, it's always something that I have nearby, and that is uh, the good old-fashioned pen and paper. Pen, da, 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 pen, paper, together. They are magical. And a lot of things I got accomplished because I wrote those goals down. I can dream it in my head, but once it's down on paper, that makes me go back and read it. It makes me go back to say, I think I want to put a timeline on it. Some things I do not, because realistically, I already know I'm not going to do well with it. But depending on how you work, how you communicate, you have to do what works for you, not for what's for everyone else. Okay, we're all different in that respect, in that regard. Personal growth and development goals, strategies, how this helps you stay on track for 2025. Building your strategy starts with number one, what do you really want to accomplish with that goal that you're setting in your personal life? Is it more about financial? Is it more about solidifying relationships, getting better at communicating in relationships with family, friends, and whomever else, right? That's what I'm talking about. So you can kind of write that down and sift through it to say, it's 2025 and in 2026, I don't want to be in the same space or place that I was in 2025 with either it's family members, friends, significant others, and so on. So all coming back to relationships. Here we go again. And the last thing I wanted to say is that I had mentioned, in the workup of the description about what was going to happen tonight is about success and goals. What really, how are they fused together? What is the commonality, if you will? And there are commonalities, right? Success and goals. When we think about the goals themselves, how successful are we meeting those goals? How successful are we feeling, I should say, when we exceed the goal, right? If you think about success on a whole, you think, oh, well, you know, I'm successful. I have a great job. I have this, I have that. And then you say, you're like, maybe not so fast. You have a great job, but the salary is terrible. You have great salary, but you don't like the job. You don't like the people on the job, whatever it is. And so many people, and that includes people that are working remotely. There's a different kind of dynamic and relationship when you're working remotely. You're not standing by the water cooler much anymore where you're after that meeting and so and so is in the meeting there's always one employee that people kind of, oh gosh, they're going to let this meeting go on and on and on and everybody was ready to go. Yeah. And then it's like you're talking next to the water cooler about that. So, anyway, those were the days. Okay. I kind of sort of not missed that part about being in corporate. But other than that, that's really what I wanted to talk about this evening. And again, I want you to think about three things before I go, maybe two. Are you happy? I'll ask you again. Are you happy? Happy? Are you happy? Is that a yes? If it's a yes, go ahead. All right. So somebody's happy. hmm Uh, do you just love the space that you're in? Da, 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 da. Are you in love with your job? Your family dynamics. Okay, if not, think about it, rethink how can you get better. Their relationships, no matter what relationships that you try to foster, you have to maintain. It's not good enough just to build, you have to maintain them as well. Again, personal growth and development. If you want me to have this come to your team for me to do a presentation, I'm certainly available to do that. Are you stressed? That is my other. hmm That's my next question. Are you stressed? If so, da 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 da, you got to get out of that mode because it doesn't help you. It can create some form of hypertension. Many of us are stressed anyway. They say it's good stress and bad stress. I don't know. Once you start taking a pill for hypertension, you see it a whole different way. I just see one stress, okay, and that is to control blood pressure, right? But yeah, so if you're stressed, remove yourself from the situation in that part of your life. Reevaluate the relationships in your life, okay? And perhaps things will get better when you address what's really going on, right? This is not clinical, it's just coachable. The last question is, are you improving your happiness by setting personal growth goals? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. And when you put the tools together and you decide the yes or the no, then you'll start to stay on track, right? Again, improving your happiness. Isn't that what you're trying to do when you're addressing and achieving and exceeding goals in general? But now we're talking personal growth and development. goal achievement. You can hashtag that out. Hashtag goal achievement, hashtag goals strategies. You can build your own strategies. One or two things. Don't put too many things, all in once, and then you're overwhelmed, and now all the goals and dreams and everything else is out the window. Get yourself a pad and a good old pen. Mm. Start writing things down. It's never too late. It may appear to be, somewhat outdated. Trust and believe. Somewhere along the line, even when you're behind the computer, you'll probably pick up that pen and ask for paper. You know. So, um, but that's what I wanted to ask you. Think about your happiness, stress free, right? Improve your happiness and improve your goal strategies. And then you will be, first of all, you're already successful, but you'll be even greater and stay on track with your goals, whether it's personal growth or career, academic, leadership, if you're part of organizations, whatever it is, you will get better at your craft. But again, as I said, if there's something going on and not so great going on in your personal life, it can and often does affect your career life and vice versa. So that's what my presentation was about tonight. And again, it was called Ready, Set, Goals, as in GOALS. Okay, that's what it was about. Now, to learn more about me, again, I'm Coach Toye Johnson-Vincent, your no sugarcoating coach, motivational speaker, certified life coach, HR consultant, and of course, training and development on career development, personal growth and development topics. A lot of focus on resilience as well as just being the best version of capital YOU. So I'm great for any size audience and, of course, multiple industries. So don't sleep on it. If you're interested in bringing me on board to speak with your team to present at a conference or a smaller venue, webinars, seminars, guest panelists, all of that, including podcast shows, hey, feel free to reach out to me, typically via LinkedIn. You can message me there. Again, if the conferences are really revving up, this is the time of year for starting in that fall quarter. So make sure that you get with me because time shouldn't be wasted. It's, of course, time is the essence. So if you think you liked anything you heard, please comment. Make sure that I hear that. I will probably upload this to YouTube as well as LinkedIn, and appreciate your time and listening. And don't forget to share because sharing is caring. So, what I say, my website is TJV empowers you, the letter u.com. Again, TJV empowers you, the letter u.com. That's the letter U, not YOU. And message me on LinkedIn. You have something coming up, get in my inbox. All right. Follow me on social media platforms, Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? And also, of course, LinkedIn, as I mentioned before, and all three of those platforms. And check out my website. You might find something you like, and I may be the best fit that you can even imagine for your audience. I'm ready to speak, inspire, motivate, and empower your audience today. Bye for now. I'm Coach Toye, your no sugarcoating coach. Bye now.